Welcome to the Soul Engineering Your Life podcast. I'm Ravi Tangri, your Soul Engineer. I work with business owners, CEOs, and professionals to help them grow their business and get their life back. And this podcast is designed to help you step out of the busyness, out of the crazy, and bring more heart and soul into all of your life. What brings you joy? It's a bright summer afternoon in 2009, and my 6-year-old son and I have just flown to Ottawa for my brother's wedding. He's excited to be the ring bearer, and he looks amazing in his suit. It's a busy time for me right now with work, but we fit it in beautifully. Fly in on Thursday, prep Friday, wedding Saturday, and home early Sunday morning, so I have Sunday and Monday all day to finish a report for a client. As soon as we arrive, we're in a maelstrom of crazy family stuff. Lunch with my son, my brother, and my father at Montana's, meeting all the wedding party, rehearsals, picking up last-minute things for the wedding, and so much more. My son is so excited that my mom and dad are right next door to us at the hotel. He adores them, and it takes a while for him to finally get to sleep. Then at 1 a.m., I'm woken by his cries. He's in agony. His ears are on fire. I quickly wake up Mom and Dad and take him to their room and head out into a city I don't know in the middle of the night to find children's Tylenol. Finally, I find an all-night drugstore and get back and snuggle him for what feels like hours until he finally sleeps. Though it's a restless night for both of us. You feel so helpless when your child is sick like that. First thing in the morning, we go to a walk-in clinic and they prescribe some antibiotics and give us some basic guidelines. And he can't fly for at least a week. Excuse me? As I'm digesting that, we get the antibiotics and in no time, he's back to himself, but we can't fly. So, options. Drive the rental home with a 6-year-old. Right, I might be home by Tuesday or Wednesday. Option 2, the train. Good news is that there's a train from Ottawa right to Halifax. While the flight takes 90 minutes, though, the train takes 24 hours. Less time than driving, at least. But I'm not traveling with my son for 24 hours in just a train seat. And when you're booking that close to the date of departure, there aren't any discounts. Cost for a cabin from Ottawa to Halifax, $1,000, plus losing our return airfare. And we couldn't leave till Sunday afternoon and arrive in Halifax late Monday afternoon. Sunday and Monday were going to be my work days. So, again, I have a choice. Do I go and ignore my son for the trip? Or do I resign myself to the fact that I'm not getting work done? And this is an unplanned adventure for the two of us. All the while this is percolating through my head, we're going through the wedding and everything around that. And the ring bearer was amazing. I'm not biased at all. In the end, I know the train is our best way back, and I'm not going to ignore him to do work all the way home. So I booked the cabin. Sunday morning, we go shopping for supplies, games and books and puzzles and all sorts of things to do. He's excited for our adventure, and I'm getting there too, now that I've surrendered my work until late Monday. And it's the most incredible adventure. I love discovering the world with him. The busyness of the station, the trips to the dining car, the joy of watching the whole world through the windows, the excitement of pulling our bunks down and chatting way too late in those bunks. Monday night is a long night, but so worth it. I'm so grateful I chose joy, and so thankful for the spontaneous adventure the universe gave us. And I still have the travel version of Trouble we bought for that trip. When you have no choice but to do something, even unplanned like this, do you surrender to the joy and the journey? Or do you live in the regret of what you weren't able to do?
Check it out, check it out. Oh, are you ready for this?
How much have you felt at the mercy of forces out of your control this year? The pandemic, politics, social unrest, looking after kids at home, so much more. All of this impacting you in your life, and very little you can do about it. What often happens in times like this is that people get overtense and overstressed and desperately try to control the uncontrollable. That can lead to a downward spiral. Times like this challenge us to see if we truly do believe that our thoughts impact our world, that we do live in a supportive universe. There is a way through, and it's not by over-controlling. It's by stepping back, surrendering what you can't control to the universe, hard as that sounds, allowing the universe to support you, and then connecting more deeply with your core and acting purposefully to move forward where you can have impact. If you're ready to say goodbye to the caca and craziness of 2020 and deepen your ability to allow and co-create with the universe, join me in Pagin for the Art of Allowing online retreat on December 6th. We're going to show you how to step out of the crazy, connect more deeply with your core, and build your strength to move forward in 2021. Find out more and reserve your seat at www.allowingretreat.com.
Check it out, check it out. Oh, are you ready for this?
I'm delighted to have as my guest today Shirley King of momtobe sisterhood.com. And Shirley has a very unique story in terms of where her work has come from and where that passion comes from in terms of working with new and soon-to-be moms. So welcome here, Shirley.
Thank you so very much for having me, Ravi.
You're very welcome. So tell us now that, I love this story of how you came about this from your first pregnancy. Can you share a little bit about that, about where all of this idea came from originally?
It came from my own suffering, actually, from my own challenges that I found during my first pregnancy. And I found myself thinking someone has to do something about it. And then I thought, well, why shouldn't it be me doing something about it if I'm thinking that this is missing in the world, or at least for what I could see that it is missing. So that's how it started, really.
So what were some of the challenges that you were running into during your pregnancy that you found your way through, you created your system with?
So I found it really overwhelming to organize all the things that a baby needs, that you as a pregnant woman need, and all the appointments to prepare, or the courses that are out there, which one are the ones that I want to do, which one are the ones that I have to do, what is the good to buy, what is the really need to buy. So what I did is I created a project plan called Baby King Project Plan. So my baby at the time didn't have a name yet, and I thought I call it Baby King. So for us it was Baby King, and that's how it happened. And it all started from there. And it became such a big document that I have converted into a business.
And that's bringing into this whole thing your expertise in project management, right? You just said, okay, let's make the plan.
Exactly, yes. I was working as a project manager at the time, and I loved it very much. I'm a very organized person. I was until I got pregnant. Now I need people to help me to get organized. Yeah, it's just so good to have an overview. That is how I function. I do need an overview. I do need to know where I'm going, and yeah. So the project plan was really, really good for me to gather that understanding.
And you're right. I mean, this is something every new mother is going to be going through. And instead of them having to go through those same hoops you had to, you can bring your expertise, what you've developed, to the fore. So tell me about how Mom to Be Sisterhood has emerged in that, and what it is that you're doing for new moms and soon to be moms.
Yeah, so what I do is I guide women step by step through their pregnancy and empower them to become the mother they want to be. So what that means is really that I guide the women through the process of getting ready physically, mentally, and also practically. So what I mean by it is practically is what do you need to buy, what I mentioned earlier, what you need to buy, what is really important to buy, or for you as a mom as well, what is important for you to look after yourself, because it is so important that you don't forget about yourself. And then in a physical way, I'm obviously not a professional, so I am inviting professionals, or I collaborate with professionals all over the world to bring those expertise. So once you join Mom to Be Sisterhood, you are all set with all these professionals that I have recruited or collaborating with, and are very, very happy to help you with whatever you're going through. And emotionally, I'm going to be there for you. So I am coaching you and in a group session or as a one-to-one session, and also partner. For me, it is so important that mom and dad work very, very well together, because happy mom makes a happy dad. Happy parents make a happy baby. And that makes a happy future for all of us. So that is kind of that is my vision, to create a really good family environment.
Well, and I think it's really good that you're recognizing the role of the soon-to-be dad as well, because they're going through their own journey as well. That often isn't looked at. I mean, there's a lot more that the woman is dealing with because she's carrying the baby, but there's a lot that the father is dealing with, especially first-time fathers.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I lived it here also with my husband. He had his own journey, and life still happens. In our situation, we have had family losses on both sides, and it's just so very sad to have to deal with that whilst you're actually preparing to bring life into this world. So yeah, it's very challenging for the couple. It's very challenging for the dads to be as well. And particularly now during the pandemic, I have that is what opened my eyes, that I'm like, wow, these dads, they already are kind of, how can I say, they're not in the situation. They are walking through this process of pregnancy with us, but they can't feel it. That what they have is the appointments. What they have is be there for the women when they go through birth and labor and birth. And that's something that has been taken away from them due to the pandemic. And it just breaks my heart when I see dads that say, I don't know what has happened to my partner at hospital, and I don't know how to support her. I have open questions and I don't find answers. So all of these things have really made me aware that the dads to be need more support. It was already in my mind to integrate the partners as well in mom to be sisterhood, but I have now accelerated that and I have integrated that even more.
So, what I want to dive into a little bit here is the difference you have found from your previous career and your job as a project manager to following your passion in this. How has that changed work for you? How do you come to it differently? What do you take from it differently? What is how has the experience shifted for you in following your passion?
It's just life changing, absolutely life changing. If you go and work for a company, you have to implement their vision. Whereas here, this is my vision. This is my passion. This is what I want to give to the pregnant women and the dads to be and the new parents. It's just something that I feel it's so needed. It's really, really needed. And I feel it from the bottom of my heart that is something that I can really provide. And you just work differently. I'm working in 2 time zones right now. I am currently myself pregnant, so I can connect with the ladies even more. It's almost like it happened on purpose, so that I feel it on my own skin on what it means to go to the appointments without your partner, find out the gender without your partner. And you just have to find ways in how to do it. And that's what I like to share with other pregnant ladies as well. How can we make this more positive? So if I can make an example, with the gender reveal,
Yes.
I didn't want to find out on my own in this dark room with monitors and strangers in the room. So what I did is I prepared a really nice card and I asked if they could please write it on the card without telling me if it is a boy or a girl. And then I gave it to a friend of mine who luckily at that time, apart of the fact we are a bubble, but at that time we were still allowed to meet up to 6 people, and that was perfect. So what she did was she opened the card and looked at it, and she organized a little gender reveal party. And so it was just beautiful to find it out like that rather than me coming home and tell my husband. So I love to share the ideas that I come up with, and I love to hear from other women as well and share their ideas. So we as a community can really make this as a positive experience as it possibly is.
It's interesting here. This was before the pandemic with my stepson and his wife, my oldest stepson and his wife. There, you can actually go to a private clinic to do a gender reveal. They have a big room. So we had this whole family coming in and watching. And then for those that couldn't be there, they had a feed through the internet. So the rest of the family could find out at the same time. But, I'm sure that's become much more restricted now with the pandemic, although the online access, I'm sure, is still there.
Yes. I mean, I was lucky. I was able to fly to my parents and see them a few weeks later. So I had to keep it still a secret. And I had another gender reveal
Okay.
for my parents. This time I knew and I just revealed it to them. It was it was lovely. It was something a bit different.
That's
and I just
wonderful.
about managed to come back home before they shut the the UK again from the rest of the EU.
Yeah, I know. It's I'm looking at the numbers in North America, and it's mind-boggling what's happening now.
Yeah.
So I'm curious now that you're going through it again with your second pregnancy. How are you finding that your original Baby King plan is stacking up with your personal experience?
It is just a confirmation that it is very helpful. I apart of the fact that I have obviously many things already, but going through it again and looking at it is it's really nice, because you're like reminded of the first time you have organized it all, and you're like, yes, that's exactly it, and yes, this is really helpful right now as well. Oh, and I don't need to buy that, and I don't need to do that class, but this class is really important to do again. So yeah, it just emphasizes the fact that it is really, really helpful. But also in the meantime, I have so many connections. I built so many connections with professionals all over the world, that when I found out I was pregnant, it was during the pandemic, and it wasn't really very welcome. I wanted obviously another child, but really, did it have to be during the pandemic? So I panicked a little bit. And what I did is I reached out to this resource that I have created for my mom to be sisterhood. And I could reach it myself now. And it was just amazing. It just turned things around like that for me.
That's
And I'm like,
amazing that you created that for yourself as well, in a way.
yeah, without knowing that I would need it, it's here. But again, it proves that this is a system that works.
Right. So now, before we move, there's some exciting stuff that you're working on now. But before we move there, I really want to come back to this whole thing of stepping into your passion.
Mm-hmm.
And how much thinking did that take? Because especially with a new baby, do I go back and go back to the job, which is reliable, and such, or do I take that leap of faith? Take us through a little bit of that thought process there, that where you got to say, no, I am going to take that leap of faith on me.
It was almost a no-brainer for me.
Okay.
As soon as I found out I was pregnant, well, I was made redundant, because that's what happened. But I thought, like, okay, well, I'm going to be my own boss in the future. That was just it. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just never really knew which direction to go. It is also difficult, as you say, to leave that paycheck that you know you're going to receive at the
Right.
end of the month. It's not easy, but it has been taken away from me anyways. So it was easy for me to do the jump in that sense.
Wow, that's mind-boggling to me. You're saying that it's the norm to be declared redundant if you become pregnant?
No, it's not the norm. I did
But-
fight it,
but it
happened.
it happened at okay, so it was a timing issue that happened as well.
Yeah. So I was not the only person that was made redundant.
Yeah.
There were a couple of other people, because they have just changed company, but they have been bought in from another company, and that's what happens. They restructure, isn't it? I was home. I was sick. I was not very well, and I just announced that I was pregnant. And if I would have waited a few more weeks, they couldn't have let me go.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want to just call in sick all the time. And they are like, "What is going on with Shirley?" I wanted to be open with them. And yeah, so
So you
that's
knew
what
this
happened.
was going to be your chance to say, no, this is when I'm going to step out.
Yes. Obviously, it made my husband nervous with the baby coming, and I didn't have a job anymore, and I wanted to be this entrepreneur. I understand that, but I just knew I didn't want to work for someone else, and not follow my dreams of being an entrepreneur. I didn't know which direction yet, but I knew that life would show me the way.
Okay.
And I am so happy to be where I am now, because I feel just such a satisfaction when I have a one-to-one coaching with a follower, not even necessarily with a client, but with a follower who writes to me and says, "Shirley, I'm really worried because this and this is happening to me right now." And I'm like, "Hey, don't worry about it. Look, this and this is happening, and this is normal, or you can do this about it." And then I get these feedbacks of saying, Shirley, oh my God, you have no idea how happy I am right now. And you have no idea how relieved I am. And this just this empowers me. This just drives me even further, that I'm like, that's needed. Women need that support. And I'm so blessed that I'm able to give it to them, because I didn't have it. I would have loved to have that.
Yeah.
So it's great. I have goosebumps only talking about it, because I'm just so in the place that I need to be right now.
Well, yeah. I mean, I can hear it in your voice. It's that it is so on purpose for you. So,
Yeah.
so now you're taking another step next week, and you are having an online event on navigating and empowering pregnancy. Tell us about this event, because it's really cool.
Yes. So this is really a peek on what Mom to Be Sisterhood is about. And what I'm going to do is I'm inviting experts that do have expertise in the field. So, for example, we are going to have Dame Leslie Reagan on the show. She is the lady that has set up the biggest miscarriage clinic in the world, and it is based here in London. I mean, she has become a dame for it. So it's like awesome to have her here in my show. So I'm really proud of that. And the reason is that so many ladies are contacting me that are going through IVF or had miscarriages, and they are really fighting to have that baby in their arms. And I feel for them, especially now that I am pregnant. Sometimes it feels a bit unfair. I'm like, oh, she has lost this baby, and I am talking to her, and I'm carrying a baby. It's also something that I really need to be careful, so not to get emotionally too involved with that. However, I thought bringing her in can help these ladies in finding ways to get pregnant. I mean, she has a really high rate of success, so I'm very proud to have her on the show. So that is one example. Yes. And then the tagline is really of this show is to support pregnant women, but also their partners. That is so important to me. They need to navigate through this pregnancy as well during the pandemic. So I'm going to have an expert that is looking into how to help fathers that have mental difficulties to adapt to fatherhood, but also that fight maybe depression after becoming dads. And this gentleman has fought also here in Westminster for the dads' rights. And I am so proud to have him here, because I was thinking we need to do something to support these dads. They have a voice as well, not just about women and their babies. We wouldn't have babies without the men, and they belong here as well.
Well, that's fascinating, because you hear a lot about postpartum depression, but that's honestly the first time I've heard about people talking about depression that the father could have.
Yes, and they do. I mean, he's doing this work for a long time, for 10 years. He has gone through his own process, and that's why that process has started. However, due to the pandemic, dads do get depression because they miss the birth, because they have been kicked out during labor and then called on the phone to come back because the baby is almost here and they can't get back on time unless they are outside in the car for who knows how many hours. Yeah. So, and then they get there, they miss the birth of their baby, or maybe something even terrible happens and the woman is there on her own, not asking the questions that the father has, and then being alone with that fact that they have lost the baby, for example. I'm thinking of a specific story that they have lost their baby and they don't even know what has happened, because the wife was going through their own emotions and physical pain and who knows what was going on in her mind and everything. So it's just so sad, and we really need to find a way that we support the couples, because this is something that both set of parents are going through.
That's fascinating. That's wonderful that you're bringing that in.
Yeah, sure.
So now, I should mention too that if people do want to find out more, your site is momtobesisterhood.com. That's MOM. To be sisterhood.com. And then for the online show that you're doing next week, it's momtobesisterhood.com and then a / online show.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Where they can sign up for that on navigating and empowering pregnancy. I love the fact that you're addressing both parents, even though yours is called momtobesisterhood.com in that. Now, and this is free.
Absolutely. Yes.
That's fascinating. That's wonderful. So you can just go right there and sign up immediately. Now, in terms of this, will the show, is it a live only, or will they be able to access recordings of these presentations, these interviews?
So this is a live show of 2 days, the 1st and the 2nd of December. And we're going to have different themes that we will cover during over the day. And so there are tickets to be purchased, which is one is the REC ticket, where you can have lifetime access to these experts. And then we have a VIP ticket, which has so many benefits. It's just incredible. Shall I tell them?
Please, please.
So the VIP ticket does obviously include also the lifetime access to the experts of this summit. And then one-to-one coaching session with me, which I can't wait to meet all the people in person and have these discussions and support and guide them. Then they are going to have access to the 2 Women, 1 Mission series. These are going to give additional resources and tools on how to go through pregnancy during this pandemic. And again, dads are always involved as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the VIP ticket, there is a chance to win a holiday. So I can't wait for that.
For when we can travel again.
Exactly, because we need things to look forward to, Ravi. Obviously, we have this beautiful baby that we can look forward to, but how amazing would it be to just take this baby, your partner, and just go off as soon as the doors are open again and go to a new place, to a new adventure, the first time with your baby. I mean, it's just something so beautiful to look forward to.
That's wonderful. But the first step is sign up for free for the online event, for the online show, and join Shirley and her guests there. I'll be there chatting about mindfulness and how we can bring that in when things are going wackadoodle.
Yes, don't worry, I didn't forget you.
Yeah. So once again, this is at momtobesisterhood.com. That's MOM. And for the online event, the Navigating and Empowering Pregnancy, it is at momtobesisterhood.com/online show.
Perfect.
So thank you, Shirley, so much for coming and sharing. I love diving into the story of people who have chosen to follow their passion. And it's always wonderful to find out what it took to get there and what it is that you receive from that journey.
I know I got this. Just watch me do this.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. And if you found it of value, could I ask you a favor? Could you share it on social media and perhaps share what made it so useful to you? That's how we spread word about this. And if you've got a moment, if you could go onto iTunes or wherever you get your podcast and do a quick review on this and share again what made it so useful to you, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
Running 'cause I don't know where to go. Walking will just take too long and I can take it slow. I'll keep on pushing 'cause I know I'll take it farther. And everyone that knows me knows that I am stronger. Leave it all behind, I don't need nothing to distract me. Nothing can get in my way, I know that I'll run free. I got the energy, it's all I need to finish. And everyone that knows me knows that I can do this. Yeah, I know that I can do this. I know I got this. Just watch me do this. I know I got this. I know I got this. Oh, just watch me do this. Hey, yeah. Oh, just watch me do this. Show me what you got. You think you're